I have this drawing, and I wanted to take this one and make it so that, you know, right now her face is pointed like that, and I want to have another one where she's pointed more like that. So this is the way I turn the nose. After I drew the nose, I thought it'd be interesting just to make a video about it. So let's see here. Here you can see how the nose was originally, and I'm just gonna blank layer for me to like draw on. So it's like this. This side of the nose is not like visible, but this side is very visible. You can see more of the arch because of the angle. The first thing I did was, of course, I moved it over because it would have to be for where the face is positioned. But you can also see that I softened the line here. I drew more of the outline of this side of the nose, and I just shifted a lot of the colors as well as a little bit of the shadows. And I'm not completely sure if this is what I'm ending up with the nose, but it depends how everything blends together in the end. I'm pretty much going to do the same exact thing of trying to make sure they are positioned properly on here. I also have to keep in mind the composition of her face. So the character sprite, of course, looks like her, but the proportions are not exact because of the way that it's in a different style, sort of. She has a nose that's close to her mouth. She has big eyes. They're not like super close together, but they're not far apart. And right now her expression is sort of, it's like that. Anyways, and she also has a soft chin. So keeping in mind those features, I want to make sure that when I move her, her face is still proportioned in the exact same way, which is kind of hard for me. So I pulled up this picture. Another thing that's helpful for drawing a face in different positions is using a 3D character model as a reference. If you don't have that, you can also just use The Sims. The Sims 4 is a really good thing to use for references of faces in different angles. But I'm sure there's plenty of places that you can get like 3D art references. Are you coming to say hi? She's my biggest art critic, my cat. I have a really hard time keeping facial proportions consistent. It's one of the big things that I'm working on right now. The next thing I'm going to do is copy the lips and paste them onto a new layer. I'm going to erase some of the stuff around them, like the hair, for example. So now I'm going to move it this way first. And the biggest difference that you're going to have with this angle is that this side of the mouth needs to be elongated. Now I want to make sure not only that it's lined up here, but that her proportions are correct. So I'm going to compare them to this. And it looks a little bit off, but I can't put my finger on it. I think the lips look a little too full. So to soften up the corners, I'm going to take the skin color, change the opacity, and I'm going to use that to sort of shape it. It kind of blends it nicer that way than using like one specific really harsh color. I don't know what's off about it. I think it's the way the features are lined up. I think that's a little better. So you can see I'm just comparing this back and forth like over and over again just to make sure it looks right to me, because I don't exactly have the most faith in my art. It looks off and I can't tell why, but with pixel art it's kind of hard to get it 100% precise, so a lot of times I just go for like it looks correct enough. You could ask me why I'm just not redrawing the whole face, and it's because this is somehow easier to me. I don't know how to explain it. So I'm pasting this into here. One thing you've got to keep in mind is that from this angle the eyes would look a little bit further away from the nose, but not to that degree, I don't think. Now what I want to do is just like move the pupil and stuff over. I think I'm also going to lower her eyelids for this one. In this one she's very wide-eyed, but I want her eyelids to be a little lower for this as well. I'm going to go back and do that afterwards. I really need to figure out where the other eye is going to sit first. I'm going to be redrawing a lot of this eyeball, but I think I'm going to just stretch it out, just see if I can savor some of what's drawn here. That looks about right. I stretched it out and then I moved it over, and I think that works for the sake of where to position it. Now I have to do something about this. Let me just erase it completely, and then can I just steal it from this side? Oh, my cat's like doing tricks over here to try to get my attention. Like she's really doing the most right now. I think that maybe I should stop for a second to pet her because she's trying so hard for my attention. Zolia, you want to be petted? So I need to figure out what looks so long about this to me. First of all, I guess you'd have a little more eyelashes. I think it is this. There's a lot of shadows on this side under the eye that aren't over here, and that's because of the angle that it originally was at. So now I just sort of have to like clean those up a little bit. I think that this works a lot better. So here it is lined up with the guidelines. I'm going to keep all the layers separate for the sake of like if I want to move something around I can. I don't know when to work on the actual expression itself. I guess now is as good a time as any to shift the expression to seem like her eyes are a little bit more closed. That's better. I like that more. So the next thing I'm going to do is redraw in the outline of the face, and I'm not like super fond of this. Like it came out a little bit messy, so I'm gonna have to move some stuff around until something feels correct. I know her chin is supposed to be soft, but it seems a little like it should be a bit more defined in this. It seems pretty accurate. I think this is fine. I'm gonna just go ahead and take her skin color and connect all the lines here. I really like how this is coming out. The next thing I have to do is like add the shading back in. I think one thing that's bugging me about this is that this eyelid is not shaded like at all. The hair is pretty simple, like it goes across her forehead about this high above her eyebrows. It has a little piece coming in from here and then some little spiky bits over here. And of course I want to get the length accurate as well. The ear is going to be the thing that I struggle with. I hate drawing ears. I might touch up the eyebrows as well. I don't know for sure if I'm going to feel like it. I don't know if anyone's even going to care to hear my like thought process while I'm drawing. But there is a thought process there sometimes. Other times I just slap some colors on until something looks right, and it really depends on my mood that day. I think this piece is going too far down. No, this is so detailed looking with the shape and everything, and how it flows like hair. And then I have this in comparison. That's stinky. That looks better to me. What do you mean canceled? What should you say fucking slur? Hi baby. You want a little rubs? You look cozy. You're so cute. Why do I always pick projects that just take so much effort? I'm lazy, and yet I decide to do these things that take a lot of effort, but then I get determined to finish them, but then I don't want to. But at the same time I do. It's a constant struggle mentally because I never know where I'm at with it. I'm trying to make sure it stays consistent with the last layer, with where all the hair sits. I know it doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but I'm picky about my own art. Perhaps I should give her a neck before I give her more hair. Like, that might help me out here just a bit. I can't believe I have to draw things. I say this like I'm not doing this to myself. I really do creating struggles for myself. The placement of the neck also moved. I'm pointing out the obvious at this point. I really can't think of any more things to say about my thought process. Lines for the neck would move over this way. On this one, they're right here. On this one, it would start like over here at least. When drawing in necks, if you want somewhat realistic proportions, you have to keep in mind that the neck would line up with the ear. So what I mean by that is with this one you can see, here's the ear, and the ear sort of connects into where the neck goes. So the neck would be back here. The ear should not be too much further out than like the edge of the neck. So in this case, if the neck is like over here, the ear would probably be somewhere in this general area. I'm not the best at explaining stuff. It all makes sense in my head, but then I try to put it into words and it just doesn't. Oh my god, my cat's acting insane. What do you want? A true artist never really knows what the fuck is going on. It'd probably be something like this. But of course she's got clothes in there too. So I have to, yeah. I'm gonna snatch this color from here. I'm gonna put that color. Ta-da. Something about that looks a little bit beefy, but I'm not sure where I really went wrong. I mean, it's perfectly okay to have a beefy neck, but she doesn't have a beefy neck. This looks like a tumor, and it's perfectly okay to have a tumor, but she doesn't have a tumor. You know what I'm saying? I want accuracy. Next time I make a game, I really should make a buff character. I love buff women. That almost sounds like fetishy, I'm sorry. But she's definitely turning at the neck. Now, what looks off about this is the fact that there's not the hair where it's supposed to be. I think her nose also looks like a different shape here. Yeah, I'm just noticing that. Do you see the difference in her low snoot? So I wonder if I should... Oh yeah, because here's the original drawing that I had shifted into this one. And her nose is more pointy in that one too. Oh no, she's incorrect. This looks a little more accurate. So now that I touched that up, comparing these two together is pretty, I think it works pretty well. Her expression sort of shifts. Maybe I'll put her eyebrows a little lower too, but I'm not exactly sure if I want to do that. Choker sits at about here. No, right here. I think that works alright. What? What do you want? I don't feel like doing this right now. It's been really hard for me to get around to making more drawings. I just have not been vibing with creativity lately. So the ear would probably be about here. No. Let's draw just a general ear shape. Something like that. We're going to move that here. The hair is probably going to cross over like right here. It'll probably look like this. Maybe it would go out one, but no. Maybe like that. Does it though? Does it though? Yeah, so that's fine. Now this is the part where I have to actually draw the ear in. Let's take some of the darker hair for the shadows in the hair. It definitely looks bigger in this one. See, this is why I hate doing the ears, both of her ears, is because hers are stretched, and trying to get consistency with that always looking the same. I did the thing. I did it. Did it. Finally, to top it all off, I'm going to have to... I want to move these eyebrows down. They're going to bother me because her expression changed, but her eyebrows did not change. She looks angry. What about that? Now, the highlights, I prefer to have them kind of like imperfect, if that makes sense, because I think it looks a little more natural. Just sort of shading wherever I think it should look a little bit darker natural. Right, I think I am content with that. So we have that one, we have this one to that, this to that, this to that. It looks like her hair is falling a little more in front of her ear in that one, but I feel like that could also just be due to the general angle that she's facing. So this should be coming in more from here. So eventually I'll do the background, but I'm kind of trying to figure out how the background is going to look at that time of day still. So that's not something that I'm working on at the current moment, but I will get around to it. That's how I drew the expression shifted and stuff. And I've been recording for over an hour, so now I'm going to have to edit this, and I would kind of just rather fall into a hole and die, but I'm going to do it. It's fine. That's it.